And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. You're tuned in to Tapped Out. Hosted by Brendan Tobin and Sean Levine. Only on the BetQL network.
I'm the sports machine, Sean Levine. That is Brendan Tobin. Got the fights going on in the background right now. UFC 67 in Las Vegas. Sean Strickland takes on Nasruddin Imavov at the top of the marquee right now. It's Soriano versus Kopylov, and these guys are in the second round. We just got to see a split decision. It was Caitlin Vieira. Did she lose or did she end up winning that fight?
She lost. She lost to Rocky, split decision.
So Rocco Pennington ended up winning that one by split decision. All right, let's get out of the octagon and let's get on to the football field. But right now there's a playoff game going on in Jacksonville. We'll keep you updated with that. If you don't know, Brendan is in Florida, but he's in Miami. Jake, our producer, is in Philly, and I'm here in Kansas City. Two of our three teams happen to have the week off when it comes to the NFL. And I'm going to make a case for my Kansas City Chiefs at plus 325 why they're going to win the Super Bowl. What's important this time of year, just like in life, experience. You want a team, you want some dudes that have been there and done that before. And the Chiefs have hosted 4 straight AFC Championship games. Now, as the 1 seed, I don't know where that AFC Championship game is going to be played, BT. I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to get there. I don't know what their path is going to be. And then once they do, I don't know where the hell that game's going to be played. All that being said, they've got the MVP in Patrick Mahomes, plus 325. If they can just get Buffalo out of the way, I feel pretty good about that. Jake, your Eagles have the second best odds right now and also have a bye in the NFC at 5-1. Tell me why Philly's going all the way.
Philly's going all the way. I don't understand why they're not the favorite now that Jalen Hurts is back and healthy. Lane Johnson's back and healthy. I think we're one of the most healthy rosters in the NFL. And when you look at our – what do you say? It must be nice? It must be nice. You have a pretty –
health must be nice.
You got a rough situation down there in Miami, bud. But Philly – healthy roster, great offensive line, MVP quarterback. I don't care what you say in Kansas City. I just think it's going to be Kansas City and Philadelphia, and we're going to take it back from Andy Reid. That's how I think Philly takes it.
If that's the case, I'll see you in Phoenix for the Super Bowl. BT, your team, the Miami Dolphins that you cover.
Oh, yeah.
Miami, 80-1, huh? You going to sell us that that's an 80-1? The long shot going to take the championship?
Dude, Skylar's the limit, man. We are not worried about it. You are talking about a man who is ready to pounce. Skylar Thompson, just a very young 26-year-old rookie who is going to be ready to go in there against Buffalo, unfazed. He is now taken on a vaunted Jets defense, and now he is completely prepared after putting up 11 points last week, although technically one was a safety, so he didn't really put that up, against the Jets defense. Oh, he's ready, dude. He is ready, and then Tua will be ready by the AFC Championship. I am not concerned at all.
I can smell your sarcasm from about 2,500 miles away here in Kansas City. By the way, do you think the line?
By the way,
the line's huge though, like 13.5 for a playoff game. Is that not too big?
Are you really? So you're one of these that like you look at the Bills and not impressed with them? Is that a thing you're doing?
No, it's just a 13.5 point line in a playoff game where they've already played twice. Although I just used the same rationale and I took the 9.5 with Seattle. Same thing. I was like, that line looks too big. They've already played twice before, and that just burned me. So what do I know? Maybe the Dolphins did smoke like a blunt.
I'll just let you know, dude, like the injury status is just bad. Like it's not just Tua, which is obviously the biggest killer because, you know, just a few weeks ago, they're going down to the wire in Buffalo in a snowstorm and, you know, things were looking good. This concussion thing's really unfortunate with him, but not only him, Raheem Mostert has looked like an absolute beast. He's out, broke his thumb in the final week of the season. Teron Armstead, their star left tackle, is being held together by duct tape. I don't even know if he's going to go. Another bunch of their linemen are left home. Like, if they're going to win this game, Josh Allen had the worst game of his life and probably threw 2 pick sixes, and Tyreek Hill returned a punt for a touchdown. Like, it's to think their offense is going to make this happen, I would be stunned. Unless, like, Mike McDaniel's unveiling some, like, Waddle Cat or something that we don't know of. Like, some crazy innovative trick that he has up his sleeve.
You might get that Josh Allen pick 6. I think he was second in the league in interceptions behind Dak Prescott this year. So he throws a bunch of those. Unfortunately, he also throws a bunch of touchdowns. What do we think about this game going on right now? Chargers on the road at Jacksonville. The Jaguars went off as a 2.5-point underdog. Trevor Lawrence has the hair. Does he have the gall to pull out the win tonight?
I mean, I have been dogging Trevor Lawrence all season long. I had to wear a Trevor Lawrence wig on my show in Miami this week. It's really not, especially as Sean O'Malley would say, my bloated face. But it was I'm not a huge believer in the Chargers, but like here's the thing with Jacksonville that worried me. Like I felt they really had to fight tooth and nail to get in here against a Titans team that was begging them to win. So that was like, I don't know if they're ready for this. I think that it was cute. It was a nice turnaround for them, but I do feel like the Chargers have kind of been surging at the same time and look a little bit more dynamic.
Chargers with an early touchdown in this game. They're up 7-0. Jacksonville has the rock right now. 10:58 left in the first quarter. Jacksonville came into this game 9-8 after taking out Tennessee last week and winning the division. Chargers came in 10-7, and I can tell you this from firsthand experience as a guy, as a Chiefs fan that's seen the Chargers a couple of times. Man, that team is good. Like when they're good, they're great. The problem is this is the playoffs, and they haven't been here, and it feels like they're about to find a way to lose. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens about 2 hours from now. I'm not saying Jacksonville's a great football team, but until the Chargers actually do something, I ain't buying into them. All right, let's go ahead and stick with the order here of the game. So we've taken care of the Chargers game. We've taken care of the Miami game that's tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, I thought this line would be bigger. The Giants on the road at Minnesota. I've been calling Minnesota frauds all year long. They ended up with a really good record, but they're not a really good team. They had a bunch of crazy finishes. They scored as many points as they gave up this year. I think that ultimately they end up winning this game, but BT, are you surprised that they're only 3-point favorites against a Giants team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a really long time?
I'm not surprised. I feel like they always kind of disrespect Kirk Cousins. So no, I'm not surprised. By the way, Ramon Kabilov, nasty knockout in the second round of Puna Soriana. Like that was a vicious body kick. He was putting it on.
Goodness, I'm seeing that now. Wow, he knocked him out cold.
That was nasty. But anyway, yeah, it's Kirk Cousins, dude. Like nobody cares about Kirk Cousins. Like I think that's why the odds are the way they are. Like no respect for him. The Volkanovski,
I love how you say people
of the
disrespect
UFC
him,
world.
and then the next word that you're like, people disrespect Kirk Cousins, and the next thing out of your mouth is because he's Kirk Cousins, and he's just like, well, that's why people disrespect him because of people like you.
I guess I don't know what to tell you. Like, would you want Kirk Cousins to be? You don't know what it's like. You have Patrick Mahomes, so you don't know what that world is like. But I think that's why the odds are the way they are. He's the Volkanovski of football right now. No love.
Well, you've got Skylar Thompson. I don't see a lot of difference between Skylar Thompson and what he's accomplished in this league and Patrick Mahomes. But if you do, then we'll just have to agree to disagree. I think they're basically the same guy.
You don't have to go low on that, dude. Like I know it's tough.
All right.
By the way,
all right.
You want to know MMA sneaky Dolphins fan? Gilbert Burns loves the Dolphins.
Is that right?
Huh.
Yep. Who knows?
Loves the Dolphins. His son loves Tyreek Hill.
A Lamar-less Baltimore Ravens go on the road to the Cincinnati Bengals. And all year long, we talk about not getting enough respect. I wasn't exactly sure why everybody was talking about the Browns. Then for a minute, the Steelers. And they were talking about Baltimore in the division. Ultimately, Cincinnati ended up taking it. They were the best team. They've got I don't want to upset Jake, third probably best quarterback in the NFL, I would say, in Joe Burrow. I love that guy. They're giving up 8.5 on Sunday. Who you liking that one?
Yeah, the Ravens don't have Lamar Jackson, and it feels like they're never going to have Lamar Jackson again because he's probably going to walk. No, I like the Bengals. The Bengals have looked explosive as hell. I think you almost got lucky that they didn't have that game because they could have maybe snuck in there with that 1 seed by the end of it. So, kudos to you. You got a nice little break there as far as that's concerned. Even though, I mean, you got to play maybe you'll have to play the AFC Championship in Atlanta, which why does it Atlanta? That's such a strange pick. Why wouldn't they put that game in the elements?
Yeah, I don't
those
know.
two teams in the dome?
Right? No, that's what I was thinking. And like maybe an AFC crowd somewhere. I don't know. Indy, if we're going to put it in a dome that's neutral. Anyway, that's a whole other story for another day. That's crazy how all that went down. I'm with you. I think that Cincinnati ultimately ends up rolling in that game, but Were you serious? You don't think Lamar? They're going to work it out with Lamar in Baltimore long term, just a matter of time. Really?
Nah.
Maybe he comes to Miami then. Where does he end up? Where does Lamar play next year?
I can't rule that out.
Well, next year they'll just franchise tag him. So we're talking about a situation they still have a little bit of time to figure out.
But here's the thing, though. Like, if he fulfills his contract all the way through, like, you're gonna franchise him then? Like, you don't believe in him. Like, that seems stupid to me. Like, just move on, let him go somewhere else. I know that's the business of it, but that seems silly. Like, you either believe in Lamar Jackson or you don't believe in Lamar Jackson. You're gonna keep him around again. Move on, go to something else, let him go get his contract.
The problem with Lamar Jackson is he's like a really good used car where, like, for the first couple of years, you're feeling great about it. But in the back of your mind, you know that thing's going to break down. And once it starts to go bad, man, that thing's going to be in and out of the shop a lot. And I think that's what's going on right now with the Ravens, where the car's getting a little bit old, right? It's got a little bit more miles on it. He's been out now for a long period of time. If he's missing a playoff game, it's not the type of thing where, you know, we always hear them say, if it was the playoffs, he could play. It is the playoffs, so he can't. So it's a real deal injury. I mean, I understand the hesitation.
It's also their fault. Like, they didn't give him security of a contract. Like, if you wanted him for the playoffs or wanted him to gut it out for the playoffs, you should have given him a contract that, you know, he was worthy of. And you see some of the deals that are thrown around here between, and like, okay, you believe in Russell Wilson, you believe in Lamar Jackson, you don't believe in Lamar Jackson. The money Russell Wilson's getting, Kyler Murray's getting, this guy's won an MVP. He is the Ravens. Like, you have no shot without him. And they treat him like they could have replaced him with anybody, which they can't.
Yeah, it's crazy that those guys, and I said it at the time. I remember when Kyler Murray signed the offseason extension, I was thinking, that's very Derek Carr-like. Why? Now you've got the 15th best quarterback in the league. He doesn't give you a chance to win the Super Bowl. You can't get a high draft pick. You think you've got your quarterback of the future, and you don't. I've said this a million times. If you don't have Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow or like 2 or 3 other guys, then you better try to find that guy. If you've got the 15th, 16th best quarterback, typically, I know you're going to give me examples of where it happens. Oh, Peyton Manning his last year won the Super Bowl. Typically, you have look at who's left in the playoffs. You have to have one of the best quarterbacks to give yourself a shot. Would you take Lamar in Miami?
It'd be a cool story. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. I think he's really, really good, and I definitely think he's a good leader of a franchise. I still believe in Tua if he's good, if he's healthy. It's just a huge if. And now that it was this year, like, he was for the most part healthy. It was head injuries. Like, that's the thing that's unfortunate about it. And the thing that is scary about it is this last concussion wasn't diagnosed in the game. They realized it after he was watching film, and they said he couldn't recall plays. So now if he can have things that are affecting his play but aren't necessarily being able to be detected by the eye test, that's scary to me. And I really like Tua. I think he's good. I know people have other opinions of him. I think healthy, the guy is a legit quarterback. But I get it. It's a very expensive position, and you got to know. And so I can understand if they want to go in another direction in the offseason.
The problem for the Dolphins is that they're going to have to face that same situation sooner rather than later with Tua also, where he's got the different type of injury concerns, but nonetheless keeping him off the field, and then he's going to want that long-term money also. So,
by the way, Trevor Lawrence, 2 interceptions and 2 drives.
Wow. Hair is beautiful. Throwing tonight, not so much. Not flowing very well for him tonight in Jacksonville. The Chargers looking to take a lead right now, up 7-0 early on. Monday Night Football, the only game we have not talked about. You can see this one coming for a while, right? Like, Tampa was going to win that division. New Orleans and Carolina was a fun story, but Tampa, we knew at some point they were, I don't know if they ever got right, but they did win the most games in that division. And here they are with a home game against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is a 2.5-point favorite. You're a sucker if you take Dak on the road against Tom Brady at home. Don't take those points. Bucks on the money line, right?
Look, man, we shouldn't do any football, and you got to fight me because we're on the same page on a lot of this stuff. I don't believe in the Cowboys, and Tom Brady is the devil. So, of course, he's going to go and win another playoff game, even though it looked like this should have been the year where it was all going to end, because that's what Tom Brady does. When you are soulless and you have sold your soul to the Dark Lord, you get to do whatever you want, and it never ends for you. And that's how it just goes. He just lives life. Oh, Gisele Bundchen Dumped me, guess what? 24-year-old Instagram model. You know, like that's his life. That's what it is, and we should all just accept it.
No, you're right about most of that, but let me correct you about one thing. My future mother-in-law is actually the devil. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, I hope she's not listening.
Well, it's
If
good to
not,
know she's got to deal with Tom Brady.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying that woman is unbelievable. All right, we better take a break. Coming up next, we'll review everything that's happened. UFC 67 going on right now, and we'll give you a preview, pay-per-view back next week, UFC 283, and of course, Big John Jones news. Don't go anywhere. You're locked into the BetQL network.